In today's video, with an ambush of a dealer and his driver by two addicts who teamed up with a rival pusher for probably one of the most stupidest reasons I've ever seen. The plan was a robbery and it ended in murder. This is Curios and Spiritual. We take a look at the police investigation, case and trial. We go to Birmingham to Harborne, a wealthy area known for its village-like atmosphere and independent shops with golf courses and cricket grounds. This case takes us to Richard Hopley at age 43. Being a user, he was known to have associations within the local dealer scene, buying product. On September the 22nd, 2022, to pay for the gear he was using, he had taken work as a driver for a dealer referred to as Ace. Their operations that day spanned areas including Winson Green, Selly Oak and Harborne. Unknown to them, a plot had been orchestrated to rob the dealer Ace, and we'll take a look into the reason why. The conspiracy to rob Ace was masterminded by Ayub Khan, a local dealer. Khan collaborated with Mohammed Kasim, his associate, and two local users, Nicholas Stallard and Paul Hales. The motive for the robbery stemmed from a prior altercation between Stallard and Ace. This incident began when Nicholas Stallard, a local user, attempted to purchase product from Ace using a fake £20 note. Upon realising the note was counterfeit, Ace confronted Stallard, leading to a heated argument. This confrontation not only strained the relationship, but also left Stallard feeling aggrieved as Ace had cut him off. Seeking retribution, and possibly influenced by the potential financial gain, Stallard aligned with Khan to execute a robbery of dealer Ace. On the afternoon of September the 22nd, the group lured Ace to Underwood Close, Harborne, selecting the location for its strategic advantage, including a nearby alleyway facilitating a quick escape. As Hopley and Ace arrived in a silver Volkswagen Passat around 2:50 PM, Kasim approached the vehicle and entered the front passenger seat, brandishing a knife. He demanded that Ace surrender his gear. A struggle ensued, during which Hopley attempted to intervene, leading to Kasim to stab him in the chest. Khan, who had been standing separately near a shop, moved towards the vehicle, brandishing his own knife, but he soon retreated. Upon seeing the struggle, Hales and Stallard ran after the Passat and attacked it. Despite his injury, Hopley managed to drive a short distance to Metchley Lane, but soon collapsed at the wheel, resulting in a collision. He was pronounced dead upon arrival at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Following the attack in Underwood Close, Harborne, where Hopley was fatally stabbed, police promptly secured the crime scene. Forensic teams gathered physical evidence, including potential DNA samples, fingerprints and any evidence left behind. Witness statements were collected from local residents and individuals present in the vicinity during the time of the crime. In the aftermath, Stallard and Hales were apprehended within 2 days. Both were charged with manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. The evidence highlighted their active participation in the ambush, with both men attacking the vehicle during the incident. Police were still hunting the knife man. Mohammed Kasim fled to Pakistan following the stabbing. However, upon his return to the UK in September 2023, he was arrested at the airport, charged with murder and remanded into custody. Ayub Khan also fled to Pakistan after the incident. He returned to the UK in September 2024, believing he could no longer be implicated in the murder. He waited until his accomplices had been jailed and thought he could fool the court into believing he was an innocent dupe. After being arrested, he also fooled a psychologist in concluding he was vulnerable, believing he had an IQ of 47. A second psychologist contradicted the finding, concluding that Khan was of average intelligence, was not suggestible and was not vulnerable to others, despite having post-traumatic stress disorder. However, he was also arrested and subsequently charged with murder and remanded into custody. The legal proceedings related to the murder of Richard Hopley involved multiple trials over an extended period, overseen by Judge Paul Farrar, King's Counsel, reflecting the complexities of the case and the varying degrees of involvement among the accused. The first trial was of Nicholas Stallard and Paul Hales in June 2023. Nicholas Stallard, aged 41, was convicted of manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison. Judge Farrer noted Stallard's prior criminal record, including a robbery in 2016, which influenced the severity of his sentence. The judge emphasised that Stallard played a significant role in the ambush and was aware that one of his accomplices was armed with a knife, even if he did not intend for it to be used to cause serious harm. Paul Hales, aged 64, was convicted of manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. He received a 10-year prison sentence. Judge Farrer took into account Hales' age and poor health, acknowledging that there was a risk, but not a high one, that he might die in prison. This consideration led to a reduction in his sentence. The judge also noted that Hales had not committed a serious crime in over 40 years, which was factored into the sentencing. The next trial was Birmingham Crown Court in April 2024. Mohammed Qasim, who inflicted the fatal stab wound, was convicted of murder and conspiracy to rob. He received a life sentence with a minimum term of 30 years. The court acknowledged that Qasim had fled to Pakistan following the incident, but he was apprehended upon his return to the UK in 2023. The third and final trial was at Birmingham Crown Court, February 25, 2025. Ayub Khan was apprehended upon his return to the UK in September 2024. Khan was convicted in February 2025 of the murder and conspiracy to rob. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 29 years and 199 days. The judge said the sentences reflected the varying degrees of involvement and culpability of each individual, with the court considering factors such as leadership roles and prior criminal records. No charges were brought against dealer Ace, nor was his identity revealed. Mr. Hopley's mother, Marilyn Warner, attended every day of all three trials. In previous statements, she described how he was her miracle baby she thought she would never have. Miss Warner said Mr. Hopley was not the Richard you've been told about, as she described him as loving and kind, notwithstanding his problems with addiction. Following Khan's conviction, she said, "The 22nd of September 2022 was the day my life was destroyed, and I suspect so was yours. Unlike you, I didn't deserve it." Miss Warner admitted she thought she would never live to see the cowardly Khan and Qasim in court after they fled the country, adding she was relieved that the proceedings were now over and she could have some closure. The counterfeit £20 note was the catalyst that set these tragic events in motion, highlighting how seemingly minor disputes can escalate into severe consequences when entwined with criminal activities. But let's not forget Richard Hopley in this, a driver who took the job to supplement his addiction, who lost his life to a bunch of thugs. Reading his mother's statement is heartbreaking. The ones that suffer are always the ones that are left behind. It still beggars belief that not only would you take someone's life, but risk your own freedom teaming up with a pair of addicts who have a grudge. I still myself can't get my head round it, but we have seen people lose their lives and freedom for the most stupid reasons. If there was ever a reason not to get into the life, then this is it. This should be a spook story to tell the kids of a fake £20 note that cost a man his life who had nothing to do with the argument, but sent 4 men rightfully to prison. If this doesn't scare anyone into abandoning the life, then nothing will. The 3 who never delivered the fatal knife blow must slowly be driven insane by how stupid all this was, and then watch 10 to 30 years of your life very slowly waste away. The things you could have done, the places you could have seen, for a £20 note that was worth nothing.